God talks to you and angels talk to you in ways that are familiar to you and very simple. So it's actually quite easy to overlook God's messages and to feel like the heavens are sealed and silent. Well, hello there, prosperity seeker. It's Allyson Chavez, and welcome to another episode of the Prosperity Approach. Today, we are going to talk about what happens when heaven goes silent. How do you get heaven to open up? And is it possible to get heaven to open up? And especially at this time in the history of the world where there is so much upheaval going on, so much anger, so much contention, so much hatred, so much fear. And there's just such polarization going on all over in society. And it really feels like, is God anywhere in this? And why doesn't he stop it? Let's talk about that today for a few minutes. As far as why doesn't God do anything about it, it's not that he won't, and it's not even that he can't, because even though God is subject to universal laws, he is God and he created the laws, but there are times when his hands are kind of tied behind his back because of the choices that people on earth are making and what you're focusing on. And I actually experienced this firsthand. And so let me share my experience with you. When life was rough, and there are periods when life is fantastic and other times when it is really, really rough. And we were in one of those rough times. And what we're programmed to do is go into fear and survival. And so we have a knee-jerk reaction to everything. We're just trying to get to the weekend, or we're trying to get through whatever challenge it is that we're faced with. And many times we are run by fear and by doubt and uncertainty. And then we're like, where is God in all of this? And I was definitely doing that. I remember being at a training, and one of the exercises that we did was to each find a quiet place in a room and then just ask God if he loved us, and then see what answer we got, see how we felt, and all of this. Now, this was at a time in my life when I was filled with anxiety. I was worried all the time. I was in massive monkey brain all the time, tons of survival. But make no mistake, I was in massive action all the time, working full-time, working part-time, working on my business, trying to be everything to everyone, raising 4 children. Like, there was a lot going on, but my dominant thought was just fear and somebody save me. That's what I was looking for. I was looking to be rescued. I was looking for God and for Jesus to save me. And I was really sincere in that. But with this exercise that we did, I went to a quiet place. I closed my eyes and I just prayed, do you love me? And the answer that came into my mind was this: don't ask a question you already know the answer to. That was not very kind. And I was quite devastated by that answer, actually. We all went back to the room and shared our experience. And they're like, oh, I just felt this great hug. And oh, it was just so wonderful. And I was trying to hold back tears. And the instructor saw and called on me. And I'm like, this is the answer that I got. And she was like, oh, why do you think you got that? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't want to talk about it anymore because I will just cry. And I've thought a lot about that experience. I really don't believe that was God talking to me at that time. It was an answer I got that was on the same vibration as I was on. And so if you want to open up heaven, and if you want to start feeling communication from God, there are specific things that you must do and specific ways that you must think in order for God to be able to get in, because God is all powerful and can do huge miracles, and he does, like, on the daily. But in our own lives, he wants us to tune to him, and his voice and the voice of the Spirit is quiet. It's a whisper. It's a nudge. nudge. It's a prompting. It's an idea, because he wants us to tune to the subtle. He wants us to tune to the nuance. And there is nothing subtle or nuanced about fear or doubt. It screams at us all the time, and disaster screams at us all the time. There's nothing quiet about hatred. There's nothing quiet about anger. Really, there isn't. Even if you're quiet about it, when you seethe, your energy is really loud, and people can feel that. And so I realized that I needed to get myself into a position where I could actually hear God and where I could actually feel God. And so it required me to calm my mind and decide that God was everywhere and that God did love me, and God was in the details, not the devil, but God was in the details of my life and of what I was trying to accomplish and create. And God knew my heart, and it was acceptable to him. Does that mean I'm perfect? Not by any stretch of the imagination am I even close to that, but God knew that I was trying and that my heart was sincere and wanting to make a difference for good. But that was a decision that I had to make before I could really feel God speaking to me. And then I had to start actively looking for God in my life, in the minutia of my life, in all of the details. So this is something that I did. I love clear blue skies. And a couple of scattered clouds, that's totally fine, but just those clear, open blue skies. And I remember being outside one day and the sky was so crystal clear and so beautiful and blue. And I remember thinking, God created this color for me because he knows how much I love blue. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you see my wall is blue. Like there's just this connection I have with blue. And I had the thought, well, God created this day for you. He created this sky for you and this color because he knew you would enjoy it. And he also created it for billions of others of his children that he knew would enjoy it. But that doesn't diminish the fact that he created blue for me and this clear blue sky for me because he knew it would bring me joy and it would make me feel closer to him. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, what is your favorite color? I want you to put it in the comments. And where do you see that color in your life? Maybe it's orange and you see it in a sunset. Like, it doesn't matter what color it is, but start looking for your favorite color and you're going to find it everywhere. But more important than just looking for that, look for that as evidence that God is aware of you, that God knows what you like and he wants you to connect to those things that you like. And it might sound dumb and it might sound so simple that it couldn't possibly work, but that's why it does work. I started looking for God everywhere and reminding myself, God's in the details. God did this because he loves me. God did this because he wants me to feel happy. Oh, and start seeing the messages. God answers all of your prayers, but it's usually through other people that your prayers are answered. So have you ever had somebody just shoot you a text? Has a meme or a GIF come across your desktop that just makes you smile or makes you feel like you're heard or supported? And does your mind go to, gosh, I wish that was God talking to me? It is. It literally is God talking to you, and God talks to you and angels talk to you in ways that are familiar to you and very simple. So it's actually quite easy to overlook God's messages and to feel like the heavens are sealed and silent when you're not looking for them. Now, lest you think, oh, this is your imagination and this is just so that you can feel better and think that God's communicating with you. So what if it is? So what if it is my imagination? It made me feel good in the moment. It made me feel connected to my higher power. It connected me with my source. It made me feel supported and comforted. When you have a choice, choose to believe. When you have a choice, choose to believe. And your whole world will open up because it settles your spirit down and you start tuning your spiritual ears and your spiritual eyes and all of your intuitive gifts toward a higher power who wants to communicate with you. But he can't do it when you're filled with fear and doubt and second guessing, and this isn't really God, and this isn't really a message, and that couldn't be it because it doesn't look this way or it doesn't sound this way. But when you start opening up and saying, yes, I'm willing to receive messages any way that God wants to send them, you start sending them in really beautiful, creative, fun ways. God talks to me through billboards all the time. Billboards and vanity plates and bumper stickers, and definitely through memes and through GIFs and through quotes that will just come across right when I needed them. Right when I needed them. And that is one of the things that helps me feel so certain and so supported in these very uncertain, turbulent times. And so I invite you to try that technique on. And start jotting down how God talks to you. Start jotting down how your angels communicate with you. Because what we need in this world is more light and more certainty, not more darkness and uncertainty. And this helped me. I do believe that it will help you as well. If you'd like extra support with this, come join our free Facebook group. It's called Success Without Struggle. Do a search for it. Ask to join. That is a powerful group of like-minded women who are here to support each other and to encourage and uplift each other. So come on over, see what we have there. I do Facebook Lives every Wednesday. It's called Wednesday Wisdom, just so that you know you're not alone. And sometimes I get to be God's voice, and that's one of the most sacred privileges that I have. I love being an answer to somebody's prayer. And so maybe this podcast is an answer to your prayer. And if that's the case, I'm honored that I got to be God's messenger for you today. And until next time, remember, prosperity becomes you.